a frail 11-year-old boy with severe asthma, stranded in the rugged wilderness of the Rocky Mountain foothills for over 30 miles alone. He survives not only the harsh terrain, but also encounters with mysterious animals that seem to watch him. Then, after being found by sheer luck, he reveals details about his experience that defy logic and reason. This is no ordinary story, it's the baffling case of Jerry Monkman, an incident so strange it continues to haunt investigators decades later. Hi everyone, you're listening to Thousand Fragments. The moment no one saw, the memory no one kept. I'm bringing it back, drop a comment below, and let me know where you are today. I'm all ears. And let's begin. The year was 1953, and life moved at a slower pace in small-town America. In one such community, nestled near the foothills of the Teton Mountains in Wyoming, an 11-year-old named Jerry Monkman lived a simple yet adventurous life. Despite his fragile health, he suffered from chronic asthma and struggled physically compared to his peers. Jerry had an unquenchable thirst for exploration. He loved hiking, camping, and anything that brought him closer to nature. His parents often worried about his safety, but Jerry always returned home safely, carrying stories of breathtaking landscapes and wildlife sightings. Little did they know, one April day would change everything. It happened during a Boy Scout trip to the Teton Canyon, a place known for its rugged beauty and challenging trails. On April 25th, Jerry and his troop set out early in the morning for what should have been a routine hike. As they ascended the trail, the group split into smaller units to explore different areas. Jerry stayed close to the leaders initially, but as the day went on, he ventured ahead, eager to see more of the canyon. At some point, however, he disappeared without a trace. One of the troop leaders turned around to check on the boys and realized Jerry was nowhere to be seen. Panic set in immediately. The local sheriff's department sprang into action upon receiving the news. Within hours, 600 volunteers joined forces with law enforcement to search every inch of the surrounding wilderness. Bloodhounds were brought in to track Jerry's scent. Helicopters scoured the skies, and ground teams combed through dense forests and rocky cliffs. Everyone believed finding Jerry alive was nearly impossible given his condition and the distance he could have traveled. Yet, against all odds, the dog handlers picked up his scent and followed it relentlessly for 6 straight hours, northward toward a swamp located 12 miles away from where Jerry went missing. When they arrived, there was nothing. No sign of Jerry, no clues left behind. It seemed like he had vanished into thin air. Back at the weathered wooden cabin serving as the command center, confusion reigned. How could a child with Jerry's limitations traverse such a vast distance? Was foul play involved? Or had something or someone else taken him? These questions lingered as night fell over the mountains, casting long shadows across the anxious faces of those searching for answers. But then came the twist. The next morning, an 8-year-old boy named David stumbled upon Jerry completely by chance while riding his horse near a tree line roughly 30 miles away from the original location. According to David, Jerry simply emerged from the woods, waved weakly, and asked to be taken back to his group. When questioned later, Jerry offered little explanation, beyond vague memories of sleeping under trees and seeing strange animals watching him. "They never hurt me," he insisted repeatedly, though his descriptions provided no concrete answers. What kind of animals? Where did they come from? Why didn't they attack him? None of these questions had clear answers, leaving investigators even more perplexed. Let's rewind to the events leading up to Jerry's disappearance. Born in a modest family, Jerry grew up surrounded by siblings who adored him despite his physical limitations. Teachers described him as bright but quiet, preferring outdoor adventures to classroom activities. Joining the Boy Scouts became his escape, a way to prove himself despite society's doubts. That fateful weekend, the promise of camping and hiking invigorated him. Equipped with basic supplies, including a canteen and a small flashlight, Jerry joined his troop enthusiastically. They began their journey along well-marked trails, chatting excitedly about their plans for the evening. But somewhere along the way, Jerry slipped away, unnoticed. When Jerry went missing, chaos erupted among the troop leaders. After realizing he wasn't anywhere nearby, they alerted authorities immediately. Helicopters buzzed overhead, searchlights cutting through the darkness. Ground teams spread out systematically, calling Jerry's name and scanning the terrain for any signs of movement. For 2 days, the operation continued tirelessly, consuming resources and manpower alike. Still, there was no trace of the boy. By the time the bloodhound led them to the swamp, hope began to fade. The idea that Jerry could have survived alone in the wilderness seemed remote, almost laughable. And yet, when David found him 30 miles away, reality defied expectation once again. As days passed, theories multiplied faster than solutions appeared. Some speculated abduction, suggesting Jerry might have been carried off by unknown individuals or even wild animals. Others pointed to supernatural explanations, citing folklore about the Teton region being a hotspot for strange phenomena. Could Jerry's survival be attributed to otherworldly intervention? Or was there a simpler, albeit harder to believe, explanation? Fast forward to the present day, and new developments continue to emerge thanks to advancements in technology and renewed interest in cold cases. Forensic experts revisited old evidence, hoping modern techniques might uncover overlooked details. DNA testing revealed traces of unidentified substances on Jerry's clothing, sparking debates about potential contaminants or deliberate tampering. Meanwhile, geographers mapped Jerry's supposed route using satellite imagery, concluding that covering 40-plus miles in such a short time frame required superhuman endurance or assistance. Social media platforms amplified voices previously unheard, creating networks of advocates committed to solving mysteries like Jerry's. Among them was Brian Carter, a computer programmer turned amateur sleuth who applied advanced algorithms to decode patterns hidden within archived reports. His findings suggested possible ties between Jerry's disappearance and broader incidents involving children vanishing under similar circumstances. Could Jerry's case represent part of a larger pattern, or was it truly an isolated incident? Amidst growing public fascination, documentaries and podcasts dedicated to exploring Jerry's story gained traction. Hosted by investigative journalist Linda Hayes, the series Into the Wilderness combined archival footage, expert analysis, and newly uncovered evidence to paint a vivid picture of the era. Episodes examining societal factors contributing to Jerry's disappearance resonated deeply with viewers navigating their own uncertain times. Could something like this happen today? Linda asked rhetorically during the season finale. Her words lingered in listeners' minds long after the final episode aired. Despite these efforts, fundamental questions remain unanswered. What caused Jerry to travel so far so quickly? If he encountered animals, why weren't there signs of struggle or injury? Most hauntingly, how does someone so vulnerable survive such an ordeal without leaving a single clue behind? These queries weigh heavily on those closest to the case. Emily Grant, a psychologist studying behavioral patterns exhibited by victims of trauma, spends sleepless nights researching obscure archives, searching for patterns others might have missed. Even casual observers feel drawn into the vortex of uncertainty surrounding this infamous tragedy. In recent years, forensic genealogy techniques identify distant relatives linked to DNA profiles discovered near Jerry's original disappearance site. Investigators raced to interview these individuals, uncovering surprising ties to the region during the mid-20th century. While circumstantial, the connections provided tantalizing possibilities worth pursuing. "We're closer than ever before," declared Detective Mark Thompson during a press conference held amidst heightened tension. Cameras flashed as reporters clamored for answers, underscoring the significance of this development. Yet, despite these advances, gaps persist. Who or what watched Jerry in the forest? Why did the animals seem protective rather than predatory? And perhaps most importantly, why does the official record still list Jerry's disappearance as unsolved? These mysteries weigh heavily on those affected, including Jerry's now grown siblings who gather annually to honor their brother's memory. A memorial plaque stands near the Teton Canyon trailhead, its inscription reading, "Lost but never forgotten." By 2023, researchers announced they had decoded messages embedded in photographs taken during the initial search. Using sophisticated image recognition software, analysts identified recurring themes tied to specific locations and dates corresponding to known landmarks along Jerry's alleged path. This revelation suggests Jerry may have left deliberate clues intended to guide rescuers even if he couldn't articulate them afterward. Was he playing games right up until the end? Or was something else guiding him? Advancements in artificial intelligence offer unprecedented opportunities for analyzing large datasets related to Jerry's case. A program developed by Brian Carter sifts through thousands of pages of archived material, flagging patterns previously overlooked by human eyes. His findings suggest possible ties between Jerry's actions and broader criminal networks operating throughout the Rockies during the 1950s. Are we looking at isolated incidents or part of something larger? Brian asks during a live Q&A session, drawing nods of agreement from participants. The atmosphere shifts dramatically as public interest in Jerry's case grows once again. Social media platforms buzz with theories, some credible, others far-fetched, yet all contributing to a global conversation about justice and accountability. Families affected by similar losses gather annually to honor their loved ones, finding solace in shared memories and unwavering determination. "We won't stop fighting," says Linda Hayes during a memorial service held near the Teton Canyon. Her voice cracks slightly, betraying exhaustion mixed with awe at the complexity of their subject. And so, the legend of Jerry Monkman persists not merely as a relic of the past, but as a testament to human resilience in the face of incomprehensible evil. For every answer uncovered, new questions arise. For every step forward, obstacles loom large. Yet through it all, one truth remains clear. The quest for understanding transcends generations, binding us together in our shared desire for peace and resolution. Now, consider this. Imagine yourself walking through the same forest Jerry once traversed. Would you notice anything unusual? Could you explain the inexplicable? Stories like Jerry's remind us that even in the heart of civilization, secrets lie buried beneath layers of myth and misunderstanding. Only by confronting these shadows can we hope to illuminate paths toward light and redemption. Or will the shadows always hold sway, reminding us of the limits of human comprehension? So, next time you venture outdoors, take a moment to observe your surroundings. Who knows what secrets lie hidden in plain sight? And remember, while stories like Jerry Monkman's may terrify us, they also inspire us to seek answers where none seem to exist. Because in the end, it isn't the darkness that defines us, it's how we choose to respond to it. And that was another story lost in time. But stay with me because there's still more waiting in the shadows. What do you think happened to Jerry? Let me know in the comments below. Your thoughts matter, and they shape the stories I share next. So go ahead, type it out, and hit send. I'll see you there.